Good evening and welcome back to Softball SAHQ for the Adelaide competition Women's League. Tonight, James Harris joined with you is Lee Hull. As always, how are you, Lee?
I'm fine, thanks, James. Rather nippy, isn't it? But what do you expect at West Beach on a Wednesday evening?
Well, we've got some red-hot action here, though, tonight, Lee. We've got Sturt Falcons coming up against the West Torrens Eagles. Now, for the Falcons, their injury concerns continue tonight. It's their pitcher, Tass Straps, so in comes Jazz Strandland. So they'll be looking for their junior players to be stepping up tonight.
Well, and one of those junior players that's coming in tonight is Jessie Keach, who is an under-17 state player from this year. Got some real talent, and she's playing in the hot spot at third base. I'm looking forward to seeing her in action, James.
West Torrens have got a huge out in Lana Kaisler, Stars third base player, so they'll miss her hitting in the middle of the order. But returning for the West Torrens for the first time for 2018 is Jordan Lambert, back from Aussie Spirit duties.
And she'll be loving this one. She's getting back to where she loves it. She loves it at West Torrens, James, as you know. And we'll see what all that benefit of playing against the Japanese and at the Pacific Games will stand her in good stead in this game, I'm sure. It's a big game for Sturt here tonight.
Players to watch tonight will be Stars players. They always headline each of our teams. We've got Maddie Cameron and Ada Caruana for the Falcons. And within the West Torrens Eagles, we've spoken of Lambert, but they have a huge amount of former and current youth Aussie squad members. Scott, Picard, May, Burridge. Their lineup would probably be the best all-round team lineups.
Yes, and it's them, and we've spoken about this before on other broadcasts. Them and Walkerville and West Torrens, we think they're safe in the finals, but the others, and as I said before, Sturt, it's a big game for them.
So Falcons will be fighting to keep their finals hopes alive and secure a top 4 position. We'll be right back with the action for the Falcons and the Eagles.
You got Bell, who just went and took second. She can't even go back, and she's still going. Now she's going to try to slide into third. And she's safe! She did it. She's done a good job in back-to-back innings. A little bit of trouble on it. She's got out of it, and this is hit up the middle. It's a nice play for one. Throw over to first, and she got her for 2. And this is hit hard. Deep to left field. This is back, and this one is gone!
But she's, I'm telling you, Jenny is not going to let the ball go past.
And she's to do, and here it is, and she's done it. The perfect inning. And this is hit hard. It's towards center. Will this drop? A diving catch!
Tell me you're serious.
That's a great play.
There she goes, that's a long shot to left field, Sophie Hoyle! It's a home run! It's an automatic run for the Glenelg Rebels. We were just talking about her power, we were just talking about her wheelhouse, and into the breeze, thank you very much, Lee, a home run to Sophie Hoyle.
Well, we are just moments away from the action here at West Beach. It is slightly chilly. You just mentioned that in the pre-game, Lee, but I don't think it's going to affect the players too much at all. And maybe the breeze is favouring the left side of the diamond.
Yes, I think so, James, and I might just take this opportunity to go around the Eagles' defence. The battery is Maddie Scott pitching to Carly Allen. On first base, Kelsey Nucky. Second base is Emma Burridge. And at third base is Faith Pickard. The shortstop is Jordan Lambert. And the outfield from left to right, Jackie Beale, Alicia Marching, Courtney May. We have 2 bench sitters. They are Mackenzie Ween and Ella White, 2 of the younger players. And a lot of flexibility in this West Torrens side. Nucky and Pickard could play in a variety of positions in the infield or the outfield. So this is a strong-looking defence.
We saw Kelsey over the last week or so fill in at shortstop for Jordan when she was away with the Aussie squad, and Faith Picard just slotting into third base in the absence of Lana Kaysler. But other than that, pretty stable-looking lineup. I mean, you've got Maddie Scott amongst the league leaders in ERA at the moment, and one of the league leaders is this West Torrens team. So Scott fires that one in right at the bottom of the zone for the first pitch, and it's a called strike on Ada Caruana.
Got a good ring to that name, isn't it?
Sure
Brinket
does.
Tree, we've been saying for a long time.
Yeah, that's it. Still wears Brinket Tree on the shirt, but has changed the name, the married name. It's a 1-1 count, and we will try to bring you some updates on the other game tonight. It's between Walkerville and Glenelg on Diamond 2, and we saw them face off this time last week in a 48-minute massacre, wasn't it? 10-0. And we're just getting an update right now. It is 0-0 after 2 complete innings, and yes, we've finally got it. Steph Trzynski is pitching for the Rebels.
Wonderful.
Brinket Tree just gets a bit of that ball, bit of the pad on the ball there. Is just off the end of the bat and ground out to shortstop in Lambert. So it wasn't a full swing, Lee, but Ada is capable of beating those out, but not on this occasion.
No, you just need to get the one. She puts the ball down in the infield, James. You just need to get the ball quickly, and you can execute the out. It was done. So who's this next hitter? It's Jordan Lee.
Jordan Lee, so one of the under 17 state representatives that's here at the moment. You mentioned the bench players for West Torrens in White and
Mackenzie.
And Mackenzie Ween, White and Ween, sorry, and they both played in the under 17 state team as well. So a couple more of those state reps. Jesse Keach we spoke about earlier. It's fantastic for South Australian softball to see these young players.
I think it's wonderful, James. And you get exposure at this level in the strongest competition we have here, the A-grade competition, and then you just go on, you learn, you add tools to your trade, and you become, well, we hope, people like Belle White.
Terrific turn at bat from young Jordan Lee. So she gets a 4-ball walk, Lee. You like those for your first turn at bat. You know, you don't have to swing, you get to see a few pitches, and you arrive safely on first for your team early in the game.
And you don't get tired all of a sudden.
All right, Sarah Tonkin lays down a good bunt. Scott looking for the advanced runner, which was a good play, seeing as it came back pretty hard. Lee was there comfortably, and so she fired it across to make the out at first. So that's 2 out now. So interesting tactic there. You got a walk and then sacrifice bunt the very next pitch.
Yes, it's not something now they've been doing the intentional walk for Maddie Cameron.
All right, so Coach Gooley, Coach Dave Gooley for West Torrens Eagle up against Caroline Gardner, coach of the Sturt Falcons. So look, Dave Gooley's not afraid to put a batter on when there's a runner in scoring position. And, you know, it pays off more often than not with Dave. You think, you know, why is he doing that? Well, you know, a bit of method behind the madness, and you can see it pays off. Well, he's going to hope it pays off. We saw Georgie Baker hit in an RBI last week. She gets after this one. It's a pop-up to centre field. Alicia Marcheng takes a good, comfortable catch. And there you go. The risk pays off.
Yes, well, by doing that, David Gooley gives himself 3 options of outs, whereas he would have had 1 option.
Yeah, so, putting the force on, and it's I wouldn't say high risk, high reward, but you know, there was a little bit of risk in bringing up the 5-hitter in Georgie Baker. Had this been a full-strength Falcons lineup, you probably would have seen a Belle White roundabout up to bat, or just after or Maddie Cameron, or vice versa. So there would have been a bit of protection there. But I mean, Georgie Baker started the season off with a screamer and has been solid for the Falcons. So still a bit of a risk. But anyway, it did pay off on this occasion, and the Falcons are scoreless after their first inning. So we will start seeing them warm up, and that is Jasmine Stranlin on the mound. We haven't seen her on Spacequake Sports since very early on in the year, Lee, so it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on her. But before that, you can go around the Falcons
Yes, well,
defense.
it's Jasmine pitching to Sarah Tonkin at first base, Georgie Baker. Second is Jordan Lee, and at third base, Jessie Keach. And in the hole at shortstop, it's Lauren Fleming. At left field, it's Lily Rashid. Centre field is Maddie Cameron, and Ada Caruana at right field. Yes, Jasmine, I was only saying in the office today that I hadn't seen her pitch for a while. I certainly haven't seen her pitch an A-grade, a full A-grade game. Tonight she's got the opportunity. Let's see what she brings to the game.
Who's on the Falcons bench? Have they got another pitcher there at all, or are they're just riding their luck on Jasmine tonight? You think Georgie Baker?
Georgie
maybe?
Baker,
Georgie
I think.
Baker. Yeah. Now Jessie Keach has
but
rode her arm in under 17s, but you know I don't think she's quite the A-grade standard yet. But you never know.
You never know. See how Jasmine goes. Give her a fair go and see what she's got.
She's probably got plenty on her plate tonight in her first A-grade start for the Falcons.
Yes.
Okay, so Stranlin gets in their first pitch on Jordan Lambert, the leadoff hitter for the Falcons, with a called strike and then a high pitch for a ball, so it evens up the counts. Up and out in the zone for 2 balls. So Lambert getting herself into a good hitting count, and Stranlin's working quick here by the looks of things. Smashes that to the right side, and Jordan Lee it was. Jordan Lee it was who was the fielder, and that ball was absolutely laced. A line drive.
Yeah.
Straight to the chest of Jordan Lee. The ball must have tailed off. We'll see that in the replay just a moment. Just it did. You could see that dip or tail away from Jordan Lee. She was looking to take it center of her chest, and she had to move her glove to her left, affecting the error. So Lambert, lead-off hitter on for West Torrens, and we saw last week that can kill a team when Walkerville executed that perfectly, getting their lead-off runner on just about every time.
Also, what I noted was the terrific running from catcher Sarah Tonkin to back up there on the throw from Jordan across to the first base, because
would have been
the runner would have been an extra base for sure.
Wow, Faith Picard smashes this ball to the fence. Lambert's going to score easily from first. She was moving on the pitch, and Picard is going to stand up at third nice and comfortably. Coach Gooley, in his very animated ways, holding Picard up at third, although there was a little bobble out there, so potentially she could have scored, but I think Dave may have taken her off. Look at that piece of the ball on the Spacequake Sports replay. That cleared Lily Rashid at left field easily. She fires that ball in, a little bobble. Look at Gooley holding up Picard, and now the throw comes in. So, you know, she maybe could have taken her on, but with none out and hitters 3, 4 and 5 in the lineup, no need to take risk this early in the game.
Yes, and I think the trailing wind is helping on those shots at the left field, as you mentioned before.
So Emma Burridge was the hitter for West Torrens, and she has popped up to first base player Georgie Baker. Just another replay of the Picard shot. Wow, that was absolutely laced to the fence. The German Shepherds were keeping their eye on the ball there in the background.
Yeah, and the ball wasn't a good throw back to the relay person, and could have probably scored on that, as you mentioned.
So an RBI triple to Picard, scoring Jordan Lambert, and wow, look at the Eagles fly early in this game. They've got a 1-run lead. With just the 1 out, the fourth batter is Carly Allen. 2
dangerous batters here with Allen and Nucky.
Now, Carly is one of the league leaders in hitting for the competition. She's hitting .438. She's got 15 RBIs. She is having a great season for the Eagles.
Yeah, up the middle hitter, normally Carly, and hits it with power.
Well, that power that you speak of, she's got on base 7 times from errors. And that's also amongst the league leaders as well. It means that she's getting the ball into play with power and, you know, 20 odd hits as well. 7 of them extra base. Gee, she is having a year. And there she goes. She gets that walk. a very patient hitter early on. We've mentioned that a few times on the broadcast this season, is that she does like to have a little bit of a look early, but look for her to go mental in the middle of the game, middle innings, because she'll be trying to impose herself as the pace of the game drops off a little bit and take full toll, and even putting that ball to the fence. One more time, we see the Picard replay. This time we see Jordan Lambert, who puts on the burners to ensure she scores. West Australians having trouble with their helmets tonight. Erin Burridge's helmet fell off as well on her swing.
Might have had a haircut. Something's providing it, I think.
All right. Well, this is Kelsey Nucky up to bat now for the Eagles. A very consistent hitter, a reliable hitter in the Eagles lineup. Runner in scoring position. That's Picard on third. You've got Allen at the corner, at the other corner, and at first base. So only one out. If there is another out made, you'll see a courtesy runner come in, but won't be needed here. Look at that. Naki smashes that one down the left field line. Carly Allen held up at second, but Faith Picard will score. That's the second run for the Eagles, and it's an RBI single to Kelsey Nucky.
Yes, and that's a typical Kelsey Nucky shot, isn't it? Anything up and she can pull it, she will. Jasmine is throwing the ball up a bit here so far in this inning.
Yeah. Well, Maddie Scott liked to look at that one as well, but pops it up. Looks like first base player Georgie Baker will make her second out. It's very similar to the Emma Burridge out, so Maddie Scott flies out for the second out. Here comes the courtesy runner, so Jordan Lambert will come in for catcher Carly Allen with the 2-out catcher speed up rule. Alicia Marchenks, the new hitter. Now, we were just saying about the Jasmine pitching up. Now, if you're going to miss, you want to miss low or you want to miss out. You don't want to miss up, because a lot of players will still swing for that high pitch, particularly that one with a little bit of extra pace, because the hands are already up there, Lee. They're ready to strike the ball above the belt.
We've seen two classic instances of that already with Faith and Kelsey.
Well, Jordan's shot went like a rocket as well. It was just dropped. So Georgie Baker, a third pop up for the inning. So that might be a result of chasing the high pitch. We have seen a lot of strikeout victims this year with Thompson and Schneider and Peterson throwing a bunch of strikeouts because they've got that rise ball. But it doesn't look like Jasmine is throwing a rise ball up in the zone. So that is how and why the Eagles are taking full toll. Okay, so 2 runs in the first inning. Let's watch the Nucky replay here. She just ripped that ball. It just sat for her. Rashid, it was for the Falcons doing the work. She's been busy tonight, as has Georgie Baker at first base. So one of those you'd say unearned, although the ball was hit like a rocket from Lambert. You'd still credit as an error, you would think, from Jordan Lee. Unfortunately for young Lee, welcome to A-grade softball.
Yes, it was travelling, wasn't it?
So with the absence of Tonkin and Straps and White from the hitting lineup for the Falcons, it actually gives an opportunity for a couple of these younger players in Lauren Fleming, who's moved up the order a little bit. She's hitting 6, normally should hit a little bit further down in the order. She really needs to stand up. Yeah,
it's to replace people like that is very difficult, but you've got to do your best and you've got to find something. Find something from within, just get yourself on base, become a potential run, and hopefully somebody following you is going to score you.
Right. So just fouling that one off for the first pitch. Now, here's a good stat for you, Lee. The Falcons have played just a little bit over 100 innings so far this year, and Lauren Fleming has played the most, 102.7 innings she's played.
What's that mean? It means they're quite happy with her, and she's consistent. She is a consistent player.
And what more can you ask for? You know, a young player. Don't forget, this Falcons team won 4 premierships in a row. So that's what a credit to Fleming to be. You know, she's played the most innings so far for the Falcons.
And you know what the main thing is to me, James? It allows Maddie Cameron to go out and play where she plays best, at centre field.
Yeah, world-class outfielder. Great shot from Fleming. So she has stepped up for the Falcons with that single to right field. Courtney May trying to make the out and apply that defensive pressure, but she was going to be safe every day of the week. Okay, here we go. Jessie Keach in her first start for the Sturt Falcons. Has she played before, Lee? Like
she hasn't started. But I think I'm not sure whether she's come in one game, but
unfortunately, she has laid down a terrific sacrifice bunt, but it is bounced off the chest as she has exited the batter's box. So Coach Gardner having a word with plate umpire Neville Lawrence, who made the call batting out of the box. So just double checking, and doesn't Neville love this face-to-face? And you know, the ISF, or sorry, the World Baseball Softball Confederation Hall of Famer Neville Lawrence has had his fair share of discussions. And out of courtesy from Coach Gardner's questioning, he will ask his fellow umpires, who are State Umpiring Chief in Steve Walasharo at first, and Michael Bendel is the other base umpire. So we've got great, very experienced umpires here in South Australia. So they have kept the call. Not often you see them change, do you, Lee? And the out is called. So runner has to return to first base, and that's one out for the Falcons. So Lily Rashid it is now for the Falcons.
It was a very good attempt by Jessie, though.
Yeah, Jessie got great purchase on that bunt. Unfortunately, it's just bounced straight down and into her running path. So let's see if Rashid can advance the runner instead.
Pitcher Scott wasn't happy with that call then. It's not going to change.
Lily, another one of the young Falcons players that is a regular in the lineup. She's also played, you know, a high percentage of innings, 88% of the innings. So she is, she's getting her opportunities as well. So she squares a bunt here, and it chops it foul. And look at that defense of the West Torrens Eagle. The corners charge in, the pivots move, break left to their base that they have to cover, and even Carly Allen was up for that one. She wanted to get a hold of that one if it was just going to drop at the batter's feet. Good pick up from Allen in the action once again. That ball nearly copping Rashid there in the toes. So you don't like those as a hitter. You have to dance your way out of there, and sometimes you wonder, oh, wonder if I should have let it hit me. But she didn't need to on this occasion, and earns herself and her team a walk. So she advances the runner, and importantly as well, the bottom order, when you can get on base and make contributions to the team, you come around to the top order, your chances of scoring increase dramatically. So Jazz Strandland batting 9.
It's super important for the bottom half of the lineup to get a couple on when you come to the top of the lineup.
So Scott has thrown a walk, so that's, what's that, her second walk for the game. There was an intentional walk as well. So just Strandland, a very good push bunt there to the second base player in Burridge, but she was good enough there to stop her momentum because she was looking to cover first base as a second base normally would for a bunt. Nucky was back because it looked like a fake bunt. And
I tell you what, it's the first push bunt I think I've seen this season, but it's an excellent skill to use.
Very well executed then, yeah, very handy. So we are at to the top of the order. There are 2 outs, but it is all class for Ada Caruana here. So first base open as well. So surprised that, is Carly Allen standing up there to receive these?
I would think I'm walking.
They are. So this is because they've already used up their intentional walk.
Yep.
And there you are. So Ada has a bit of a wry smile as she receives her 4th ball. So you could probably put that down as another intentional walk.
Yeah.
But effectively it is the 4th walk out of 10 batters if you count both intentionals.
Yes, it certainly is, and but they're playing the percentages here.
So So Jordan Lee gets a called strike right at the bottom of the zone. So she will be looking to get bat on ball here and making them pay. So it paid off for them in the first inning with the intentional walk. Will it pay off for them in the second? That one just crossing below the bottom of the strike zone.
Now the pressure comes back of the battery.
Well, 1 ball and 1 strike, so Maddie and Carly will still not be trying to give her anything to hit, I wouldn't think. Getting her chasing. Well, that one was a bit quicker, but it was there to be hit. So fouling that one off, Jordan Lee, she gets a piece of the ball. Now, Jordan was very good for the South Australian under-17 team at National Championships in January, so about a month ago. Let's see if she can get the ball into play here. Shortening the grip. Oh, very good eyes to watch that one on the outside edge. Carly Allen just calling timeout to speak to her pitcher in Maddie Scott. So it's a 2-2 count with 2 out here at the bottom of the second. They're trailing by 2. Lee,
chance of a run here.
Well, it's probably a count where you're not going to let anything go close to the zone. So she will be looking to get bat on ball, protect that strike zone. But if Carly Allen's experience pays off here, this one will be out of the zone. Oh, great catch at first base by Kelsey Nucky. If that ball had been a little bit to her right, you probably would have seen 2 runs scored. What a great shot from Lee. We're going to watch this replay here. So Allen setting up on the outside. So Lee looking to drive it opposite field. Great catch. Look at that, Kelsey Nucky. And you know what? She wasn't playing the line either. So she was playing some percentages there, getting off the line, and it paid off. So, well, the Eagles had a small scare there, Lee. The bottom order for Sturt were batting really well. And
good signs for the Falcons. They're bounced out now into their fielding positions, which is always a good sign that, yeah, we're up and about and we filled the bases.
Well, in 2 innings, although they haven't scored a run, in 2 innings they've had, 11 plate appearances. You know, that line drive just then. They had a hit in Fleming before, 4 walks, including the 2 intentionals. So it's hard to credit those intentional walks to Maddie Scott when it's the Coach Gooley making those calls, but you know, it hasn't stopped Maddie from being one of the league's best pitchers so far this season. We spoke before of her ERA. It's amongst the league leaders. I think it's about 1.2, Lee, 1.2 ERA for a 17-year-old, 18-year-old.
Well, you'd take that any day of the week, James. And the thing is with Maddie, she's very consistent now. When she first was into the pitching role, you know, as the #1 pitcher, she just seemed to just in one innings just lose traction or whatever. But not anymore. She's right on the mark.
Yeah, we've seen her develop this year into a great pitcher. Great shot from. Oh, good catch. Jackie Bill it was, the batter for the Eagles. I thought that one came off a little harder off the bat than it did, but great coverage at shortstop, and Fleming takes a good catch. That's the first out, and bringing up the 9-hitter for the Eagles, it's Courtney May. Now, I'll just run through a couple of the stats for Maddie Scott. She's 10 wins. The only pitcher in the competition to have 10 wins so far, only the 2 losses. And batting average against.
That speaks for itself, James. 10 wins, you take that.
Is only 140, 150 for an opposition batting average. So she's been outstanding so far. And I mean, a little surprising, but not surprising at the same time, because Snyder started the season a little later, and although Port Adelaide have been on a roll, they haven't won that many games yet. So you know, she's well ahead of the imports and 1 ahead of her under-19 teammate in Georgia Hood, who's got the 9. May fouling that one off to stay alive in the count. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, let's get back to the Eagles hitting now. Courtney May is an important player for this Eagles lineup. She does play right foot, but she's their backup pitcher as well. So I think it's important that Coach Gooley keeps her in the lineup, because if something happens to Maddie Scott, They've got to go back to Courtney May, but I don't think she's got many innings behind her.
No. Can hit the ball hard at times, but like you were mentioning, James, batters 7, 8 and 9 just need to get some people on in that trio, so you go to the top of the lineup and they can bring them round. The Sturt people are up and about. There's plenty of noise.
They are up and about. You were right, and they bounced out of that dugout, as you said, with enthusiasm, and no doubt about it, it had something to do with the way that Stramlin jumped to reach for that one. She's not tall, but she got a great reach on it, and probably robbed Courtney May of a hit there.
Yeah, well, she's doing well, Jasmine. But as I said, I haven't seen a pitch of full A-grade game, so that'll be interesting.
All right, back to the top of the order for the Eagles and Jordan Lambert. Watches that one at the bottom corner of the zone for a strike. So she's seen a few pitches. It's a 1-1 count. 2 out here for the Eagles. Low again.
Hard batters to pitch to Lambert, aren't they? And Ada, because they are such good judges of what's a ball and what's something I'll hit.
Or she liked the look of that one, you know, that saw that look on her face. She's probably missed an opportunity there and fouls that off for a 2-2 count.
Had a lot of softball lately, this girl.
Well, she had Nationals, she had the Denso Series with the Aussie Spirit, and then she went away with the Spirit squad, the All-Stars, to play in the Asia Pacific Cup. So she's been playing some world-class softball against world-class opposition. So does that affect the performance of a player when you have to drop it back a level? I mean, if you can consistently play at that level, I mean, terrific, but, you know, it is a bit of a drop. There's no disrespect to these players out in the diamond tonight, but they're not the world-class opposition that she's been up against the last month. Look at that, early on the ball again, smashing into the light pole.
Tell you what it does do, it gives you lots of confidence when you play against the best.
Fouls off again. It's a 2-2 count. Still that one just gets over the fence and goes foul. So 2-2 count in the bottom of the second, and the Eagles hold on to that 2-run lead at the moment. And although you would think the way that the game's been going the last couple of minutes, you'd think that Sturt are the team with the momentum.
Well, I think so, and they're and that's good. Good to see.
High for ball 3. So Lambert not looking to chase after that one. It was way high out of the zone. So it's a full count.
Yeah, great turn of batting here.
Smashes this to shortstop Fleming, who makes a great play. And a good take from Georgie Baker as well to complete the play. A big stretch indeed, the third out made. And a quick inning, a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Falcons. And they're rolling lead.
Yeah, and Lauren Fleming was featuring in 2 of those outs, which is great. We did speak about her consistency. We saw it then.
Okay, so an update from the other diamond. It's a chalk and cheese game from this time last week. 48 minutes last week. The game's already at the hour mark. It's a 1-0 ball game. The Cats are leading, and they scored from Chelsea Robinson, hit a double. She stole and then scored on a wild pitch. Gee. So Chelsea Robinson has got a couple of hits against Steph Trzynski. 3 hits they've given up so far. Robinson's got 2 of them.
What you're telling me from that is that Steph Trzynski makes some sort of difference when she's out there in the pitching position.
Well, this is top of the table, Walkerville Cats, who are on a massive roll here. They've had such an awesome season. Both their pitchers, Snyder and Colquist, amongst the league leaders with ERA. And then all of a sudden they're playing bottom team Glenelg Rebels, who they beat 10-0 in 48 minutes this time last week. And it's a 1-0 game.
Well, full credit to Glenelg as well. Apart from Steph, they're obviously welcoming her back with open arms, and we're seeing the result.
Well, hopefully Sophie Hoyle's playing over there as well to strengthen the hitting lineup as well. And, you know, you never know. One swing of the bat could tie the ball game.
Well, I honestly think that the side relies too much on Sophie Hall. It's you know, we know how she can hit the ball hard and long and often, but others have to come to the party, surely. And maybe they are. Maybe they are tonight.
Okay, back to the action here on Spacequake Sports. It's the West Torrens Eagles up against the Sturt Falcons. We're at the top of the third, about the 30-minute mark, and Sarah Tonkin leading things off for the Falcons. She's in a good hitters count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Has a go at this one, hits that opposite field, but Courtney May gets herself into great position there, Lee. She took a good catch. It was nearly a line drive straight to her.
Yeah, well, she picked it up early, Courtney, and was there in time, just in time to take the catch. Was well struck by Sarah, so good signs for the Falcons, and now it's Maddie Cameron.
Yeah, so well done to Courtney May. Now, you know, we speak of players here regularly of those that are very improved, but one player's worked on her fitness is Courtney May. She's running 10, 12 Ks a day now. She's so fit. I got to spend a bit of time with her in January with the Open Men's team in Canberra. She was the team statistician, and she'd get up, go for a run. Doesn't matter, it was 35 degrees, and gee, she's a fit girl.
Don't you appreciate athletes like that, James, when you coach them?
Cameron has a big cut at that one, but it's all air, and Maddie Scott had a wry smile after that one.
Yeah, so I think athletes that are self-motivated make life a lot easier.
Crushes that one to the right side. The Bob Burns blinds sign, and she stands up at second. Did you see her rip that ball, Lee, opposite field towards the scoreboard? Falcons have their leadoff runner. Or not lead-off, there was Sarah Tonkin was the lead-off, but a runner in scoring position. That wasn't a bat flip. She aggressively gets rid of the bat, though, to run up.
Talking about running, Maddie Cameron can run. She's a powerful unit.
Well, and it gets a massive lead-off as well. It's so good to see the aggressive lead-off here from Cameron. She's part of that sprint training program. With Kathy
Lambert.
Yeah, but let's go back to Dave Gooley's decision to intentionally walk Cameron in the first inning with runners in scoring position. Well, that is why he did it.
Yeah.
Okay, Georgie Baker it is. It's a 1 ball and 1 strike count. The runner is in scoring position. It's Maddie Cameron, so the Falcons have 2 chances. So it's 2 strikes to count. First one was a called strike, so Baker, not squaring up to bunt, but to just make a slight adjustment, fouls that one off.
Yeah, the golden rule when you're running on bases, especially from second, is to go down, get a lead as far as the nearest fielder. Well, the nearest fielder is Jordan, so I wouldn't go that far. But Emma's on the other side. Emma's not quite as quick as Jordan, so go down that far and then you can get back. You can usually get back. You get a good break, you get a miss hit or something, you're going to get to third quite easily.
I just double checked on the stats, so thank you to Lindy Radigan and a team of statisticians who are able to provide us with that extra information. You mentioned Sophie Hoyle and how the team and the lineup just rely too heavily on her. Well, she is the only Glenelg batter in amongst the league leaders. She's hitting .323. But starved of opportunities with runners in scoring position this year. So all her other stats don't seem that impressive. She has a lot of walks as well, so she still gets respect in the batter's box, although her team hasn't really supported her around her this year.
Well, thank you for that, James. It's interesting to know.
Good pickup and play from Faith Picard at third base. Gets Georgie Baker. Lee, I noticed just then as we were chatting that the Sturt bench, which is only probably about 8 or 9 metres away from us, it's deafening. I don't usually hear the background noise of a
Not
dugout
from here,
like this.
we don't.
Not
No,
like
no,
this.
no.
They are fighting. They're in
They're
there
up
for
and
a
about.
fight, aren't they?
Yeah. And And Bell's on the bench there, so Bell we won't be letting them just drift off. It's a game here to win, and they can do with the win. They know that.
And Scott into her motion, and that's a great pitch. I think every single pitcher out there watching would have appreciated that one. She's got 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. That pitch low, out of the zone, catching the batter swinging. Oh, good shot, piece of the ball from Fleming. That one just did a little bit of funny business on that bounce to Emma Burridge, but she was good enough to stop the ball and make the play and affect the 3rd out. So the Falcons, although are pressing, the Eagles are up to the task, Lee.
Yes, but good signs from the Falcons. They just got to keep it going. Keep it going. Jasmine's got to keep this pitching going and get the field behind her and execute some outs and then get some people in scoring position and score them.
Well, they need another quick innings as they did last inning. It was a 3 up, 3 down inning after what they have, seven batters in the first inning with 2 runs on the back of a couple of great shots, firstly from Picard, who will be the leadoff hitter in this inning, and then Nucky for the insurance, wasn't it, in that second inning?
Yes, it was.
A great shot down the line.
Yeah, batters 2, 3 and 4 in the Eagles lineup. Picard, Burridge and Allen.
Okay, so this is Faith. She had that triple that went to the fence, so probably the biggest play of the game so far, Lee. It was a
certainly was
RBI triple. So Faith Picard, who played in the SA Under-19 team at Nationals last month, also a member of the 2017 Under-17 Aussie squad. So hopefully those squads are announced soon. We saw the the Under-19 men's squad recently announced. South Australia's Cooper Goodman making that squad.
Oh, fantastic.
Unfortunately missed out on the Worlds team, but he's still got a little bit of development to go, and hopefully we see him getting an opportunity soon. Is that ball going to come down here? Watch out, Lee. Heads up, mate. Just gets stuck in that back net. So I don't know. Can you reach that one, Lee? Here comes Mr. Lawrence, who just gets that one out of play. So
a bit of humility wouldn't have gone astray then, I don't think.
So it's still a 1-0 game on Diamond 2, and doesn't look like either pitcher, that's Snyder, and as the action here, it was tricky. Have a look at that. Faith Picard has just threaded the eye of a needle there. That ball has bounced in between first and second base players, both running for the ball, and you can't pick a gap any smaller than that on the softball diamond.
No, and two safe hits for Faith out of 2 attempts.
And then the speed as well to beat that out. Emma Burridge watching that one through for a called strike. Now, I was just mentioning the game on Diamond 2. It's the bottom of the 5th, and Snyder's given up 1 hit. Trzynski's given up 3 hits. Would have been a great game to see if we saw those 2 pitchers battle it out this time last week. It doesn't matter. Here we go, back on Diamond 1. The action is Emma Burridge laying down a sacrifice bunt to advance lead-off of the inning, Faith Picard to second base. So she's in scoring position. Now, we mentioned it before. She's one of the most dangerous hitters in the comp. It's Carly Allen up to bat. She got that walk in the first inning. Patiently waiting for that first one. She wants it in her wheelhouse, Lee, and I think that one was just a little too outside for her. She's looking to get one on the plate so she can pull it.
They won't be bunting her.
Well, that's what she does. It's going to get away from shortstop Fleming. Oh, there's a play at third, and Fleming was good enough to knock it down. Still might go down as an error. She didn't get her body behind that and tried to glove it, really trying to I don't know, claw at it more than anything. She didn't get her glove down or behind it, and Carly Allen's going to find herself safe on first. So runners at the corners and 1 out. Smashes the first pitch. Kelsey Nucky, you said Picard had 2 hits. Well,
Now Nucky's got 2 hits. She's got 2 singles, both of them having RBIs more importantly. So that's 3 runs the lead to West Torrens. Carly Allen on second, Nucky on first. Only 1 out. The hitting continues for the Eagles. This is Maddie Scott.
Capable for the odd triple, Maddie, but normally on diamond number 2. Let's see if she can produce one here. That'll be handy for the Eagles.
She's hit 2 triples and a double so far this year. Coach Gooley giving her the encouragement to, as he put it, get nasty, he said. Really aggressively going for that one there. It was probably a little higher in the zone, and that was the pitch to do it on 2 balls and 1 strike. So you can let her have that one, 3 and 1. So she's got in another hitter's count there. So we might see another one of those big swings of Maddie Scott. Well, hopefully for her it's in the zone this time, but hopefully for the Falcons they can negotiate it. She crushes this one to the right side. Ada comfortably will take that. Carly didn't even get a lead off on that one. 2 outs now. So Eagles still in a pretty good position. Carly Allen will have a courtesy runner. This time it's Faith Picard to do the courtesy running. The 2-out catch a speed up rule as we watch Caruana take a pretty good catch there. She took it just behind the dirt, so she had to make up some room there to take that catch.
Yeah, it's a running speed that gets her to so many balls and makes them look simple outs when, you know, others find it difficult to get there. Not Ada.
Both players getting lucky there. I think Alicia Marchink, the hitter, got lucky there because the ball went foul, and Jessie Keach just out of her reach, and she's tripped over the base as she went for it. So it was what a great pitch from Strandlin there. I think that's the first time we've seen a bit of a change of pace when we come to expect it with the Falcons, because that's one of Tash Strapp's, their normal starting pitchers' weapons.
Yep, go-to, it's a go-to.
That one she tried for a rise ball, I think. That one was up and it had a different spin to it.
Yeah, the Eagles' batting goes down a fair way, doesn't it? It's got some strong hitters there. And Lana Kay's add to that.
Oh, Marching crushes this one straight up the line. Don't take on Cameron's arm. Oh, good take from Tonkin. Gee, she could have ended up in the back net there. That ball came in with some hot sauce on it, Lee.
And some mustard, I suggest.
Oh, wow. Let's watch this shot from Marching. She gets all of it here. Wow, smashes up the line, and Cameron wastes no time. She's like, do not take me on. I'll throw you out every day. Jackie Beale gets her hands to opposite field, but it's caught by Ada Caruana, and only the 1 run scored, but it's the Eagles now with the momentum shift again. They had it at the start of the game. It looked like Sturt were arresting some of it back, but along comes Picard. Sorry, I missed that there. Picard and Naki again. They've been the outstanding performers today, both with 2 hits, 3 RBIs between the 2 of them, and the Eagles have a bit of a lead. It's a commanding lead because you don't see them giving up too many runs this game, because the way that it's panning out so far.
No, they certainly have a very good defence as well, the West Torrens team. So they just back up their hits. Well, Jessie Keach looks safe enough there at third. Looks on top of her game, keen to get to the ball. It's great to see that, as you've mentioned before, James, these young players coming on. Future looks great for our sport. Fantastic. And she's batting now, lead off.
Let's see how she goes.
In the top of the 4th.
That should settle a little bit of nerves as well, getting to see a pitch, because she had that bunt attempt first turn at bat that she unfortunately ran into, but she has a cut at that one there. It was a little higher in the zone, but
It's good to see some aggression as well from a young player, because, you know, if she can get a piece of the ball here, the confidence goes through the roof. Great piece of the ball to the right side. Courtney May does a great job out there at right field. So we saw Ada do it for the Falcons, and it was May doing it for the Eagles on this occasion. Both left-handers, so they both, when they break to their right, it's to their glove side, which is to their advantage. And Maddie Scott is happy. Look at that smile from Scott. She's happy that her outfielder can take a great catch.
Yeah, and the extra pace, as you mentioned about Courtney doing this sprint training, fantastic, and it's just going to make her a better player for sure.
Rashid goes for the first pitch. The pivot player is second, and shortstop communicating there to see whose ball it was. It was Lambert's all the way, and she takes a good catch for 2 quick outs. Okay, 9 hitter is Jazz Strandlin, and she is an overseas visitor and just here playing socially. She's not, you wouldn't class her as an import player like a Snyder or a Mackenzie Thompson or a Vicky McFarlane. She just actually came to Australia and not looking for to come over here and play softball, but she looked for a game of softball, and she's found a good club in Sturt, because they've got plenty of opportunities, plenty of teams, and they've welcomed her with open arms. And
Now she's holding a very important role for the team in pitcher,
as there's a couple of injury concerns within the Falcons lineup. So Strandlin fouling that one off. She's behind in the count.
There's not many games left in the minor round, 19 including this evening's games. So it's gone by, hasn't it?
Is that right? 19 games to go, and each team plays 24 for the year. So we're getting around the 19-20 game mark for each team. So every game counts from here for these teams like Falcons, who are fighting for a top 4 position. Actually, you've got me intrigued now. I'm going to look ahead to the games coming up as Strandlin watches that one low and goes to a full count. So
yeah, there's a cracker on Saturday. I think the 2 o'clock game is
live,
West Torrens and Port.
Live on Spacequake Sports, West Torrens versus Port Adelaide. Now, Port had a win on the weekend, so they leapfrog Seacombe Tigers into 5th place, still in dead ball. That ball just fouled off into her own toes for Strandlin. That one will sting a little. So Port Adelaide still in contention. They dropped a couple early this half of the season, but then they've come back pretty well. So they're still in good contention, relying on Hills or Sturt to fail. Good shot from Strandlin. So 9 hitter comes up with the goods for the Falcons, and every coach likes to see that. We come back to the top of the order. Last time Brinketree was up to bat, they put her on with 4 pitches just outside, and Caruana will this time be looking to get that ball into play, advancing the runner, maybe even advancing herself to extra bases. So
it'll be interesting to see how they attack this, the Eagles.
We'll go back to the other games a little later, just maybe in the break between innings, as we watch Ada seize that one into the catcher's glove for a ball. 2 outs in the top of the 4th.
I certainly wouldn't be pitching the ball up and out, because she'll go over shortstop's head at the rate it knots.
Now, that one was as fat as you're going to see, Lee, down the middle. Are you surprised that she watched that one, or?
Yeah, I am.
She wants it there again. Just turning on that one when she probably knows that she should have got her hands inside the ball and opposite field. But if she can get this ball behind the runner, she's every chance to make it to 3rd and maybe even home.
It's going to be a bang-bang play if it's on the deck.
There it is. It is on the deck. Picard will go across and make a great play. So she was in a little closer. So regulation third base would have been back a couple of steps there. And if she was, there was no way she would have made that play. Credit to her and the positioning. So it must have been some very good communication in the infield to let her know that Ada will get that ball down so she can try and beat it out. And,
yeah, it becomes a foot race, doesn't it, really, between the two? Well, a throw, good throw. You need to use your feet to get to the ball like Faith did. And as you mentioned, she was playing in closer because they wanted the ball on the deck. You throw the ball outside the Ada, it goes out, as I said, over shortstop, head to the fence.
All right, looks like we're going to see that pitching change. So Georgie Baker's going to come in for the Falcons. Are you surprised, Lee? It's 3-0. They're not out of it yet. So I guess, you know, before the Eagles can go through the lineup a third time, you see a new pitcher. Okay, so it's going to come out a little differently. So it may actually be worth their while making the change now. So probably good timing.
Yeah, I think so. I think Jasmine's been pitching in the B grade. That's fine. But a full game in A grade is different.
Well, Georgie's actually been in the A-grade squad for a number of years, and so she was the backup for Monica Perry, the great Monica Perry. So
and when Monica didn't arrive till later, she was doing the pitching
some
there.
innings. So it's not like that she's new to pitching, but she probably wouldn't have done heaps.
No.
All right, so Baker's going to be pitching to the 9-hitter for the Eagles in Courtney May. Let's quickly go through the games this weekend. West Torrens versus Port, huge game. Seacombe versus Glenelg. Seacombe's last chance, you'd think. Hills versus Sturt. The winner of that game probably going to secure a top 4 spot. Shot to the opposite side, well fielded at second base by Jordan Lee. So Courtney May wasting no time getting after that first pitch. Wasn't a bad piece of the ball, but it was well negotiated by Lee.
A bit of that's going on tonight in this game after the first pitch. It's aggression, isn't it?
1 out, 1 pitch, 1 out. So here's Lambert. Watches that one low in the zone.
New pitchers love that, don't they? First batter,
yeah.
1 pitch. You don't get very tired doing that.
Well, they'll probably be thinking that, you know, I want to get off to a good start. So what might not have been a bad pitch to go after. And then this time next week, Seacombe versus West Torrens. It'll be anyone's game. Jay Peterson up to 120 strikeouts this year. Had another good game on Saturday against the Hills. And Sturt will face off against Glenelg. That will be live right here on Spacequake Sports. So, wow, the action is huge over the next couple of weeks.
Some great games coming up, but I'm looking forward to that West Torrens Port Adelaide game. They've had, I think, at least 2 draws, those 2 sides against each other.
So West Torrens probably have given up top spot to the Cats because they've had those 2 draws against Port Adelaide, both before import pitcher Mackenzie Thompson made her way to our shores.
That's correct.
Okay, so back here, the Eagles have Jordan Lambert get to first base on 4 straight balls, and now it's Faith Picard, the red-hot Faith Picard. That one not getting too far away from catcher Tonkin, but it was enough for the class and the speed of Lambert, and she was unopposed at second. So runner in scoring position. Did that one skim past the hitter? Sure did.
Yep.
And Faith will be aboard on a hit by pitch. So runners on first and second for the Eagles with just the 1 out. Number 3 hitter is Emma Burridge. Just doing a bit of gardening there, getting herself set in the batter's box. And normally the Sturt defence would be to stack that right side for Emma Burridge. Remember that
a
number of times.
Yes. When they took their left fielder over there.
More regulation field. Well, it is a regulation field here this time, and a change
Big
up.
smile on the face of batter Burridge then, she knew it.
So a good change of pace there, going through the middle of the zone for 2 strikes on the batter. Another change up. There we go. Right side. They needed that unconventional defense to fill that gap. But Burridge with a single. It only advances the runners 1 base each. So to second and third. So bases are loaded for Carly Allen
and a walker first time, a ground ball the second time. Slightly erred by the shortstop, but
I see big danger here, James. That was great controlled hit by Emma Burridge. Nothing the field could do about it. The runners moved on an extra base.
Yeah, they tried to get her on that change of pace again, but, you know, maybe throw it once to her, don't try and get away with it twice. Carly Allen smashes that to shortstop. Oh, the play at the plate is just in time. So
I'll tell you what, Lambert was flying.
She certainly was. I mean, if we can have a look at the replay, here it comes. Fleming is fielding close. Carly Allen got a fair bit of it, but it was chopped straight into the ground. So Fleming had time to see it, make the play, and it was just to the side. So Sarah Tonkin, very grateful that that Lambert wasn't a couple of kilos heavier. You know, she could have been in the firing line there, but that out is made. It's 2 out. It's still loaded bases. Carly Allen replaced at first base by courtesy runner Jordan Lambert, who was forced out at home on the last play. And Kelsey Nucky watches that first one for a strike. Great change up from Baker. So ahead of the count, 2 strikes on Kelsey Nucky, who has done the damage already tonight. 2 singles, 2 RBIs. Goes left side again, and it's straight through the legs of the shortstop in Fleming. 2 runs are going to score. Picard crosses the plate, as does Burridge. Lambert stands up at second. Nucky is at first. There is 2 out, and another 2 runs cross the plate, and now the lead probably insurmountable. Lee, 5 runs.
Yes.
I know it's only the bottom of the 4th inning, and there's still more than half an hour to go, or slightly more than half an hour to go. It's Maddie Scott up to bat and watches that one through for a called strike, but you know, with one swing of the bat here from Scott, it could put us into run rule territory. Chops at that one, and it goes foul to the right side.
Seemed to drop her shoulder there, Maddie. Probably why it went out that way.
So she's trying to affect the backspin on the ball with that chop of a swing that she has. Great shot to the right side to Ada Caruana. Fires that ball in. Oh, and cut off by the pitcher, Baker. There was definitely a play at the plate there, Lee, but in the end, cut off by Baker, and Lambert, who is the courtesy runner for Allen, crosses the plate. Let's watch this replay here. Great hands there from Scott on the change-up. Brinketree scoops up the ball. Wow, that would have been close.
It would have been, but Lambert was the one that was running as the courtesy runner.
Marching, leans back on that one slightly. Strandland affects the tag for the 3rd out. And that ends the roll from West Torrens. They are 6-run leaders here at the moment, Lee. A quick inning here and then another run, and it's all she wrote. But just like that, as we saw from the last 2 games that we've covered here on Spacequake Sport, the run rule has come just on so quickly. All of a sudden, we're in that territory again, Lee. It was such a close game on Saturday, and then bang, just like that, Walkerville were able to score their 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th run to end the game against Sturt quite quickly. That was on Saturday.
And this is the nature of our sport, James. It can change in a blink, can't it? Blink of an eye, it can change.
Well, at this level as well, this is the A grade for the Adelaide competition here in South Australia. The players that you're up against, it's such a tight competition. Each of the teams have got match winners, but if you cannot put together 7 innings of softball or 90 minutes of softball, each opposition team will make you pay. Even the teams like Glenelg, they ran over the top of Seacombe one game in the last inning to affect a tie. We saw Port Adelaide score 5 in the last inning to draw a game against West Torrens. And you know, the Cats, they are just constantly applying the pressure, and
you know, every single team in the competition can do it to any other team in the competition if you're not putting 7 innings of softball together.
Yeah, and on the defensive side of things, when we've seen it tonight, and it happens a lot. When you get runners on base, then you need to be tight, very tight with your fielding, and you make a couple of errors, and it hurts big time.
All right, so we're hitting the hour mark here on this diamond, which means we're reaching the 90-minute mark of the game on Diamond 2 tonight. It is the Glenelg Rebels versus the Walkerville Cats, and if you're not watching the iScore cast on the Adelaide Club Competition Facebook page, you would have seen that Walkerville scored 2 runs at the top of the 7th. They've still got 2 runners on, and they hold a 3-run-0 lead over the Rebels. So 9 hits so far to the Cats and only 3 to the Rebels. That's probably the difference in the game. So Steph Trzynski, immediate impact, so watch out for their next opponents. Back to this game here, and Scott has thrown a strikeout. Was that Lee against Jordan Lee?
Yep.
So the leadoff strikes out, and that is exactly what Coach Gooley would have wanted. And the Eagles themselves, a quick out. We're at 3-hitter in the lineup. It's Sarah Tonkin. Outstanding year so far for the Falcons. She's amongst the team and league leaders. Sarah Tonkin just only behind Belle White and her team at 451 batting average. Gets under this one, it goes high. Faith Picard gets under it. Great talk from the West Torrens defense. That's just another element of their game, Lee. That is the difference between a top team and a middle of the range, or even a bottom team, is their communication in the field and their ability to call someone in. I know we normally see Lana Kaiser at third. She's got a great working relationship on the left side with Lambert. Okay, Maddie Cameron gets this one low, bottom of the zone here, and she'll be looking to crunch another one as she did earlier in the game.
Yeah, well, it's Tonkin. Well, she's out now, but Cameron and Baker, and they're probably their longest long ball hitters. But it's true what you said, you know, the communication skills between these players is fantastic. And that's, you get that, you gain those by playing together for a length of time, and you get confidence in each other. And it's no shame to be letting somebody else go for the catch. You know, you don't have to. I remember when we used to play men's, everybody wanted to fight each other to get them out. It's just aggression, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you do believe you're in that best position. Maddie Cameron crushes that ball, but it's, gee, the outfield was deep there, Lee, and I wouldn't know surprise, it's Maddie Cameron after all. And she smashes a double. She's happy with that. She's having some troubles with her helmet as well. It's fallen off for the second time as she stands up at second. 2
doubles for Maddie.
Yeah, great shot. Look at that. She just crushes that ball, takes off, and
that'll be all to no avail, James, unless they can shift her from that base where she was on the previous turn.
Yeah, left fielder Jackie Beale was fielding deep for Cameron, and because of that, she wasn't able to make a play for it, just out of her reach. So Georgie Baker now 2 out, runner in scoring position on second base. High and out of the zone for ball 2. So Georgie Baker's in a very good hitting position here. If she doesn't like the look of this one, I'm sure she'll get another one not soon after.
I'd be swinging at this one.
Nothing to lose at the moment, trailing by 6. Has a good crack at that one, but it goes foul, and
good
great
choice,
piece
George.
of the ball. Yep, yeah, good pitch to go after, and unfortunately for George, it's just gone foul.
What do you think about playing your outfield deep? Realising it's Cameron batting.
Well, Baker pops up to Kelsey Nucky, who takes a good catch. We saw one of the last games on Spacequake Sports, the runner just knocking the first base player in a very similar play, and that's interference, and so it's an automatic out. So Kelsey Nucky would have been comfortable in the fact that Georgie Baker would have been doing everything to avoid contact there, and the out was made. Okay, you just asked me a question about the outfield being deep. Look, Lee, up by 6 runs, you know, she had laced the ball the last turn at bat for a double. You know, maybe go back a little. I wouldn't be looking to be on the fence. So, I mean, if you're fielding on the fence and the ball goes over your head, it's a home run. So, you know, you can't defend an automatic.
No, that's what I mean, and I think that's a bit of logic coming into this. I certainly wouldn't be playing that deep. I'd challenge her to hit the ball over the top of me.
Well, we just watched the replay just there, and Bill just never in a chance at that one. Okay, so speaking of Jackie Beale it is standing in the left-hander's batter's box, so advertising that she's going to go short play. This is where you bring the outfield in. And looks like she's been working on it because she looks quite comfortable up there. She left that one alone, down and out, which is exactly where I'd be calling if I was a catcher with a normal right-hander in the opposite batter's box. You hear from the Sturt dugout, running slap, girls, running slap. I think the outfield is in a little, but not a lot, so I think they could probably apply a little more pressure than that. Great little shot. That is where you want to hit them, from the left-hander's batter's box, and Coach Gooley giving a standing round of applause for his batter in Beale. So that's very handy to get a...
Certainly, it's a great weapon if you can execute it.
So, I mean, we're not being critical of Coach Gooley. Every coach has their style, and, you know, putting the outfield back.
Just an observation.
Doing a lot of intentional base on balls throughout the season, having a right-handed batter swap over to the left-hander's batter's box. You know, he's taking the risks. They're calculated, though. You know, he steals a lot of bases. There's a lot of hit and runs. He does the squeeze play. So he is a bit unpredictable, and that in itself is tough to defend.
Yes, it is. And now they're going for the bunt just to shift her on. That's Courtney May batting. So they're looking for a signal here.
Yeah, so looking to end the game here, Lee, because they've put the left-handed batter in for a slap. Now trying to advance the runner with a short game. May let that one go. Oh, that's going to be... Oh, unfortunately, Jackie Beale saw the ball go up, and so she held up. Probably a wise decision, maybe go halfway at least, so if it lands, you've got a chance to go either way. But watch the replay here. Courtney just cops it off the end of the handle. That is good, although the throw wasn't great. A good heads-up softball from the pitcher in Baker. The new hitter is Jordan Lambert. She grounds out to the shortstop in Fleming on the first pitch. Yes, so a bit of aggressive hitting there from Lambert, and Fleming does well to take a half volley and play the lead runner. So working well with Jordan Lee there. We mentioned that last time Sturt played. They are working well together, the two young players for the Falcons. Lambert takes off on the pitch. The aggressive softball continues from the Eagles. They are trying to get this game over and done with. We're at the 67-minute mark. If they score one more run here in the bottom of the 5th, it's a run rule mercy victory, but that will send a message to the rest of the competition, wouldn't it?
Certainly
the second place team playing against the 3rd or 4th place team, we've got your number. Picard's quick and beats that one out. Lambert strolls over to 3rd, so runners at the corners. Wow, Picard has got some speed, Lee. That just adds to the speed throughout their lineup. Yeah,
been on base 4 times tonight. Faith, 3 hits and hit by a pitch ball. Can't ask for much more than that. Your number 2
that
hitter.
was hard hit to Jessie Keach. She did very well to stop that, and it was only a slight bobble, and she fired that ball across. But Picard was up there like a lightning.
That's right. It was only her leg speed got her there.
Okay, so Picard on first with 2 out. He's surprised Gooley hasn't sent her, seeing that she's quick.
Yes, draw the play, but I think he wants this run to score, and I think he's relying on Emma to get a hit somewhere, make it land somewhere for the
A single
game.
finishes the game here. So Burridge actually hit a single her last turn at bat. It was out to the right field. Bunted her second turn at bat. Goes for this one. Jessie Keach has got a tough play to make and gets the ball across to first this time and makes a great play. Lee, we've seen a couple of under-17 players fill that hole at third in the hot corner for the Falcons. It was Abby Mossman last week. It is Jessie Keach this week. These young players are playing like veterans over in that corner.
That's
They're doing
fantastic.
very well, aren't they?
Because if you're going to come in as a young player, the hardest place to go would be at third base, surely. You know, with the A-grade batters pulling balls at you, and they've done very well. Both Abby, when we saw her, and now Jessie. Excellent.
Okay, so we're going to go into the 6th inning now, and looks like Coach Gardner's making a couple of changes here, bringing in Maddie Ashby. Gee, wasn't she in the action last week out at left field?
Impressive.
Gee, in one inning, I think she had about 5 plays. But,
Yes, the ball was following her.
All right, let's give you a bit of an update. It's been a disastrous 7th inning for the Rebels. They've given up 6 runs. The game is still actually going over there. It is the bottom of the 7th now. So Rebels still have one last chance, but when it was 1-0 going into the 7th, Walkerville Cats just apply that pressure. 6-run inning.
I wonder whether Steph came out of the game before then. May have done.
Okay, so young Maddie Ashby up to bat for the Sturt Falcons to lead off this 6th inning.
He's having a hit for shortstop Lauren Fleming.
Okay, Lee, it was in fact Kushla Brewster came in, and in the 7th inning, in a 1-0 game, they brought Kushla in for 8 hits, 6 runs, all earned.
And that's what made me ask, as Maddie Ashby gets K'd.
Wow.
And it brings in the third base, Jessie Keach.
6 runs on 8 hits in 1 inning.
Was that a lucky guess by myself, you think? If it was only 1 run, you were saying?
It was a 1-0 game. It was a 1-0 game. Okay, let's just presume there that it's 2 outs and it's 7-0 to Walkerville. We will presume that they are safely home with Gabby Snyder on the mound. No one's going to score 8 with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th.
You'd hardly think so.
But they've gone over 100 minutes this time round, and it was over in less than 50 last time they played. So that's a win in itself, I think, to the Glenelg Rebels. I mean,
positive signs.
Yeah. Okay, so that will secure Walkerville at the top of the table, and West Torrens look pretty comfortable here as well. 6-run leaders on the Falcons at the moment, and Jessie Keach up to bat. She's having a good turn at bat here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're about 72, 73 minutes into this game, so not long to go.
Oh,
and another great catch at first base from Nucky. Gee, she's so good at those reflex catches, just getting her glove to the ball and just looks so comfortable there.
She's a very good first base player in this competition.
Is there a better first baser in the comp?
I doubt it very much.
Wow, what a great glove. What a great play. No disrespect to anyone else, but I think she's played very well this year, Kelsey Nucky. Okay, Lily Rashid with 2 out. Fouls this one off.
We're with batters 8 and 9, Rashid, and
So Lily's been a
Yep.
pretty good contributor for the Falcons so far this year. So it's got a few hits this year and scored runs at important times so far in the year, and she's been pretty consistent. So Falcons really looking to her to get on base here, and she will do that with a single up the middle.
It was a great piece of the ball.
Well, if there's fight, there's hope, and although it's unlikely, we mentioned it before that some teams have struggled to put 7 innings of softball together. Maddie Scott will be very eager to close this one out.
Before we get to the top of the lineup again.
Oh, definitely. So Strandland fouls that one off for a strike. Smiling away, which is great to see, considering her team is struggling here, trailing by 6. So a little loose one there from Scott. 1-on-1 count. Okay, so we've still got 15 minutes of game time to go. They won't start another inning with less than 5 minutes, and West Torrens still only need 1 run to affect a mercy.
Yep.
Here. Pop up to second base player Emma Burridge, and takes a pretty comfortable catch. So great contribution from West Torrens tonight. As I peek over your shoulder, Lee, to look at your scorecard, there's been no errors. And the clean fielding for West Torrens just helps Maddie Scott and her confidence so much. Well, we spoke of her ERA before, one of the league leaders, and a 1.2 ERA. That's ridiculous for a 17-year-old pitcher.
It certainly is, but the hits are backed up by the fielding, as you said, and they are really tight as a drum.
Yeah, probably the one opportunity that I can think of that they missed was Beale, who was fielding quite deep at left field, but that would have been under the instruction of the coach, and so they'll give up a single, although she got a double. They'll give up a single for, instead of an out.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of changes here, Lee. We saw that Ashby came into the game. She's actually gone to centre field, and it's Maddie Cameron making a return to the infield. She was an infielder. She was a A-grade Rookie of the Year a number of years ago. Junior Aussie squads, as a infielder / outfielder, and it wasn't until she, settled herself into the senior lineups of the Stars and this A-grade Falcons team that she became an outfielder, and she's blossomed as an outfielder. She is a junior world championship outfielder with a bronze medal to her name from 2013, if my memory serves me correctly. So she is a great outfielder, but can play infield.
Yeah. Well, she played a lot of it, didn't she, when Monica Perry was here, and played it really well. I did see her one day pick the ball up from shortstop and rifle the ball at Bell, and Bell couldn't even handle it. It was going that quick.
Yeah, she's got one of the best arms in the competition. We saw her almost willing the runner to go home earlier on in the game. Remember that one when she fielded that one up the middle, and every outfielder likes that one. She's going to be in the play here. And unfortunately, both shortstop and third base felt that they were in best position to take that. We'll see it on the replay here. Cameron normally going unopposed in the outfield, so both calling for it by the looks of it, and it just spilled away. So a bit of luck from the West Torrens hitter in Carly Allen, and Coach Dave Gooley sensing an opportunity. Brings in state under-17 and under-19 representative Mackenzie Ween into pinch run. So another one of our under-17 state players comes into the game. Kelsey Nucky, who's had a couple of singles and a couple of RBIs so far this game. looking to put this one away.
Yeah, Mackenzie, I note with interest that she got a safe hit off of Tani Steptoe in that last final they played in under 19s. That's fantastic.
Well, for those that don't know, Tani Steptoe played in the Junior Spirit team at the Junior World Championships last year, along with Georgia Amberhood, Jamie Mead. And then later that year, toured with the senior Aussie Spirit team to Japan. Played recently with the Aussie Spirit at the Asia Pacific Cup and features for the New South Wales under-19 team. So probably one of, if not the best under-19 pitcher in the country.
She's certainly up there.
And Mackenzie Wing got that single against her. Okay, so Kelsey Nucky has got a 2-2 count. We're about to hit the 80-minute mark. She's been on base all 3 times she's batted so far tonight. Rips this one up the middle, and Ashby is in the play again. Gee, she's a ball magnet, isn't she?
She is. I think looks very comfortably up there. Nucky again, my goodness.
Well, 3 hits from Nucky. You probably won't credit her with the 2 RBIs or the 2 runs that came in when she got that error. They went straight through the legs of the shortstop, but it was off the bat of Nucky. Okay, and that's going to do it there. So Maddie Scott attempts the sacrifice bunt and arrives safely on the wild throw. The run will cross the plate on that error, and that will do it. So the 7th run crosses the plate. We watch the replay here. Scott gets on her bike. Ween arrives safely at 3rd, gets the call to go home, crossing the plate for the game-ending run. So 2nd place, West Torrens, sending a message, Lee. Not quite at full strength, missing Lana Kaysler, but other than that, you'd probably think their next best lineup was on the diamond tonight, and they took care of a finals contender, you know, fighting for a spot in the Sturt Falcons. 7-0 in a little over an hour, or probably 75, 80 minutes.
Yes, it was certainly impressive, wasn't it? Hitting, fielding, pitching. Maddie Scott had a great night.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can see a rodent running across the diamond there. I'm sure the facility management won't be happy about that, but well done to the West Torrens Eagles. They have run out convincing victors against the Sturt Falcons. They've been run-ruled 2 games in a row now, firstly from top spot Walkerville, now from 2nd place West Torrens. Their next game, Lee, is against 3rd place Hills.
Oh.
They need to put a game together to stay in contention for the finals. Otherwise, you've got Port Adelaide breathing down your neck.
You certainly have, and the competition gets more interesting night by night,
okay,
afternoon by afternoon.
That wraps it up for us here at Softball SA, and thanks to Spacequake Sports. I'm James Harris, and joining me tonight was Lee Hull. Thanks again, Lee. We'll see you on Saturday for the big clash between the West Torrens Eagles versus the Magpies. West Torrens Eagles running out victors 7 runs to 0.